Okay. Let me get this chat opened up again here. Okay. Are we recording? Are you good?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start it up. Guys, don't send me your trades in here. Send them in the charts room. I want to see a chart, 3 time frames. 1 time frame must be the daily. Entries, exits. Tell me what you did and why you did it. I'll pull the trades up and we'll review them. I'm going to try and do this once a week, if not more. And this is opportunity for both you guys to learn and everyone else to learn by looking at your trades. So I'll review some of my stuff. And then hopefully I have some trades in the charts room by the end of it. So let's start off my trades with AMC. So I'm going to start on the daily on AMC, and what I had, the plan I had here, let me get up my pen, was I had this daily pivot marked here that we tested. I wanted to short into this daily pivot and fade AMC. So that was the overall big picture idea. Pre-market high got up here. It rejected, came back under. So I wanted to see one more push into this daily pivot. And it's sort of like, I know it's on a daily chart, but let's say you have a level intraday. Maybe it's VWAP, right? Let's clean this up. So let's say it's VWAP. SL8 price comes down, peaks over, holds under, something like this. This is what I'm looking for on the daily in this area. We got the peak over in the pre-market because this is pre-market high. I want to see it fail, hold under, and then short. So that's my plan on AMC. Off the open, I wanted to, I tried to take a scalp here off the open, and it was for one reason, and I was in this thing small. This was the pre-market low right here, and we were holding the pre-market low with a bunch of strong candles. So we had hammers off the pre-market low. We didn't have much volume coming in when we made new lows, new 1 minute lows. There wasn't much volume that came in. So I was going to just scalp this thing quick back up to this level. Anyways, we stopped out for a small loss on that one. But you see, as soon as we got our 1452, if we look at our daily, that's the daily level I had marked right there, 1452. So as soon as that showed up, we get 1452. We try and break over. We can't break over. We throw in a big red candle. I start short on this new 1 minute low, strictly based off this area. It's also a pre-market area going right into the open here. And this is part of our plan, right? If we look at the big picture pre-market idea, let's go to a 5 minute chart. Big picture pre-market idea. So this is our daily level. We break over, we test pre-market high, pull back under, retest our daily breakout level, hold under, and we're looking for a short here. So that's the trade I took on AMC. Short, took a few partials. I added, stopped out. This is unfortunate. Low volume break over this consolidation area. Realistically, I probably should have held for the VWAP test. Maybe a mistake there, because if I can hold this VWAP test and then we get rejected like this, I can add short right here and then definitely get partials into the lows. Excuse me, guys. Anyway, so we let this thing fizzle off. I was all out at this point, came back up. We retested VWAP. I started short again. I had really ambitious targets. I was looking back for low of day, yesterday's low, and I forget what my other target was, but it was somewhere super ambitious, like in the 12s. We didn't get there. We popped back above VWAP, and I called it quits for AMC. Next trade, Baidu. Okay, so I think Baidu, I think you guys got Baidu in this area, and I think that's a miss for me. I was looking at some other stuff off the open, but that's a really good trade on Baidu. If we look at the daily chart, Baidu has a small gap up on the daily. We get this level here marked. We got pre-market high marked. So we're looking for a potential fade on a bad gap here, or at least that's what I was looking for. So Baidu opens up and we put in this 1 minute opening range below pre-market high. Okay, so this is sort of a nice opening range here on the 1 minute chart below pre-market high. The one candle that sort of screwed this whole trade up is candle number 3. So candle number 3 breaks the low. At that point, I probably would have had a pretty aggressive stop of about here, and it just would have stopped me out and then started working again. So that was a bit of a tough one, but if you shorted the opening range low break and you had your stop over the high, you were good to go. And this is a really nice move. And then I definitely would have added here. Since I missed the first trade, I started a trade here. Started the trade, took a partial, added again. This looked like a really good spot for Bob to start rolling over again. I know we have previous day close in this area. At the point I was shorting this thing, SPY was being weak, or it was weak. Let's pull this up here. So what was this? I was looking at this SPY price action right here, going sort of into this area and trying to follow through to this area. So we got 1030. Unfortunately, the SPY reclaimed VWAP. And I think I said this in the chat. Once the SPY reclaims VWAP, it's either going to reclaim VWAP and choose direction, or it's going to fail VWAP and this is going to work. So it's a little bit market dependent here. So you can see as soon as SPY broke over VWAP, that's sort of when Baidu started doing its little shred thing too. It's unfortunate. I think I was in fine. It is what it is. I'm still in a Baidu trade right now. So a lot of the times, guys, what I want you to look out for is if you have a trade idea, like this SL8 idea, for example, stock pops back up, we reject VWAP, we get short, maybe we try and reshort in this area somewhere, and then we pop over VWAP. I need you guys to really, really open up to this and try and figure out what's going on. So for me, if we look back in the pre-market here, Baidu is still trading below this pre-market level, right? We were really weak off the open. We couldn't get over pre-market high. We're still testing VWAP over under. So is the trade done, or did we just mistime the trade? This is what I'm always thinking. Is the trade over, or did I just mistime the trade? So I continue looking at Baidu here. And if Baidu is going to be strong on these candles right here, we should be moving higher. We should be moving higher. We had volume come into this push up. We have no volume coming in on any of these high breaks. And as soon as we break below VWAP, we get volume come back in. So this is telling me I mistimed the trade, or they're shaking out the weak hands here. Okay, I got shook out too. I'm not saying hold. Get shaken out, but be willing to get back in. So I ended up getting back in on Baidu on this high volume candle that broke below VWAP, below this M pattern, lower high, below pre-market high. And if I get short here, stop here, and some of my main targets are down at low of day, then it's good risk reward. So those were my Baidu shenanigans for the day. T. I think this is a really good trade too, actually. The only thing I don't love about T is the big red day it had yesterday, and we are sort of into support here. But when we took this trade, we were below the support area. So we have huge red day yesterday, and we have this gap. Maybe this should have red flagged me. Don't take this thing short, because I think this is T-Mobile. And I mean, there are people interested in buying this thing up. We are trading down in a bunch of congestion now. Either way, I don't think we have this conversation if the trade works. If we look at it intraday, this white line is the daily level that I had marked on T. And let me just show you that daily level here. So that's the daily pivot low I had marked on T right here. We've also got the 200 SMA over here. And we've got pre-market low. So 200 SMA, pink line, pre-market low, red line, daily level, white line. So we break below all of these, come back, we retest daily level, pre-market low, 200 SMA, and VWAP. So I got four pieces of resistance in this one area that T has to get back through. So I figured if I take the SL8 play on this thing, whether it works or it doesn't, I think I've been good. We get a 1 minute hammer that try to push through this. We fail. Take the SL8 short. And unfortunately, we didn't fizzle. We turned around. We stopped out exactly where we should have once it reclaimed all of these levels. And T T was just off to the races from there. So I would take this trade probably 100 times out of 100 times. The only thing that I don't love about it is how beat up T was on the daily from yesterday. It's the only sort of red flag for me here. T, okay, Walmart. Okay, so Walmart on the daily here. I've got a few levels at Walmart here are on Walmart that I like. I've got this daily level right here. So we opened up above that daily level. I've got a gap fill here. Guys, if you aren't watching your gap fills, I highly recommend if you have a big gap like this, mark these gap fills as support or resistance. And then if it wanted to get through that gap fill, I've got this pivot high on Walmart. So we go into the intraday price action, and I'll just, this here was our breakout level on Walmart. This white line was our gap fill. This was our pivot that was up much higher, and our pre-market high is sitting right beside our gap fill. So on Walmart, what I was waiting for was exactly what happened. Let Walmart come up into the gap fill, into the pre-market high, and start getting short on Walmart. We get a partial here. I add the pop. I got out here. This is foolish, actually. This isn't part of my plan, but what I saw was, look at the 5-minute chart. I'll take this off. And I won't do this again. Believe me, I will not make this mistake again. 5-minute chart here looks like it's setting up a 5-minute inside bar to the long side, right? 5-minute inside bar. You got a hammer. We're sitting on top of VWAP. I need to just hold my stop. I got to just hold my stop, right? Because the big picture idea on this play is Walmart's a short. We're going into the gap. We're filling the gap. We're hitting pre-market high. We're getting rejected. This thing's a short. So I think what this is doing, and I think a lot of people took it in here actually, is I think this is just trapping longs on a basic intraday setup when people aren't paying attention to the big picture idea. Big picture idea is Walmart is gapping into congestion, whether it's here or wherever it is. I think we're looking to fade this gap. Personally, I think we're looking to fade everything in this market. And I stopped out on the long trigger here. So that's where people would have gotten long, and that's where I stopped out short. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it was. It could just be hindsight that this started working. But those were my trades for the day. I'm still in Walmart here, and I'm still in Baidu. So Baidu, I have my 3 targets out here. I have my stop in. It's either going to get to my targets or it's going to hit my stop. And on Walmart, because I took this trade later, I took this trade because of this. So if we look at the daily chart again, this breakout level that I mapped on Walmart, if Walmart is going to be strong, at the very, very least, it needs to hold this breakout level to move higher, okay? As soon as Walmart fails and holds under that breakout level, I'm not looking for a long on this thing. So as soon as we got under the breakout level and we're holding under, I'm looking to get short on Walmart. We also got a 5-minute inside bar here while we were holding under right here. I get short, and I'm just looking to run this thing to 140.61, which is yesterday's high, in the 200 SMA. So that's my target here on Walmart. And like I said, it either gets there or it doesn't. If this pivot high right here holds and we start breaking down, I might adjust my stop into this area. But for now, I've risked what I've risked, and I'm comfortable holding Walmart, even if it turns into a loser.
Dave, check out STX right now. It's breaking above the reverse. It's breaking above the 15-minute hammer after testing support.
STX?
Yeah, STX for a continuation setup.
Yeah, I think it could be a thing. I think it's a little bit light on volume for me. But Yeah, we're definitely basing out here on STX. 15-minute hammer right at the lows. Buy the break, stop under here. Maybe look for maybe a partial at VWAP, something into yesterday's close. The rest into high of day, if you're that lucky. Okay, I've got one trade here. One trade here from Alexander. He says, BGFV inside bar, second drop on the 5-minute, near but not touching the 9 EMA. Cut a lot of the trade because the spread was half the amount of my risk. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we got the 5-minute daily and the SPY. Okay, I like this intraday setup. Why I like this is because BFG shows weakness off the open here. I'm not sure what's happening here on the daily. I think this is the day we're trading. I'm not in love with the daily, but if we talk intraday right now, I like this drop on BFG right here. And I think when it comes back into the 9 EMA, I think this is a risky area to take the trade, but definitely after you get this drop and it's showing weakness, it's doing what I like to call like this basketball pattern. Okay, and for me, on these types of patterns, so you can get this pattern to the long side or the short side. If you get this pattern, especially to the short side, don't short the second touch. So let's say this is touch number 1, touch number 2. You can definitely short into this third touch. We're retesting the 9 EMA. The 9 EMA is holding here. It's acting as a trend indicator. I like that. I like this short. I like this short. I don't love the daily, but intraday, I like this pattern short, definitely. You're under VWAP. You have big red candles. You have big wicks off the top. We're showing weakness. And you followed the trend. You might have felt like you caught the trade late, but I don't think you did. I think this is perfect. Stop definitely in this area. So if you were short somewhere here and your stop was here, I mean, you had pretty good potential. I'm not sure what those levels are all about, but you had pretty good potential there. Let me look at BGFV on my charts. Okay, so BGFV, again, not my favorite daily. I don't see anything here. It's not triggering my happy place for a daily. If we look in the pre-market, so we're really thin in the pre-market on volume. Get this chart open actually. So we're super thin in the pre-market on volume. But again, we get this big drop. We pull back into the 9 EMA. I think this is, I guess you could short it here. It's just a little bit more sketchy. After this drop, definitely be looking for the pullbacks to get short here. I like that. This is yesterday's low, so that could have been one of your targets, and your risk reward would have been fantastic on that. I like it all. What else you guys got? Any more trades? Alex, red line is stop loss, blue line is entry. 3 gray lines are 1 or 2. Okay, cool, nice.
Dave, check out TPGY SL10 we took earlier. We took it on the 15.
Look at this thing on the 5. Fantastic. You took it on the 15?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. 15-minute inside bar. That's great right here. That's great. What a good trade. Let's go over this trade. Okay, so I also had this thing on watch early, and then I took it off my watch list. I was watching it, and it was... I had it on my watch list, and it was doing this. I swear I took this thing off my watch list right here. It was just doing this. These candles look very barcodey. Nothing was really happening. At this point, it looked like more of a short than a long. This is pre-market high. We're just holding lower highs into this base. And I wanted this thing long. So maybe I prematurely got rid of this thing. But if we go to the daily chart here, Again, talking about the gap fills. Let's just make this like this so we can see this. We'll make that a nice thick white area there. Okay, so this is the gap fill on TPG right here. So this white line. So we're currently trading, or we open below the gap fill, push above it. So we come back and we hold this level. These gap fills are super, super important. Super important. There were shares left behind, whether they were buys or sells in that gap fill, that are going to want to get taken, right? So there's going to be bids sitting at that gap fill to buy the pullback into the next move up. TPGY is also on SSR today, I believe. Was it on SSR? Yep. It was also on SSR today. And let's see what short float was. It was about 15%. So that's decent. So whether you take this thing on the 15-minute or the 5-minute chart, I think it's a great trade. 15-minute was really easy to see. Nice 15-minute inside bar. If we go to the 5-minute chart, it's also relatively easy to see. So we want that push up on our SL10. We got a pullback. We're holding the gap here. We're holding the gap fill here. I would probably wait for these higher lows in here, and I would take something on this candle right here. I would take something along on this candle. You can put your stop below the gap fill or below low of day, whatever you'd like, and you get that really nice squeeze. Really, really nice squeeze. I like that trade. If we map our risk versus rewards, you get, well, if you got long and stopped it under the candle, you get 6R up to that high on the 5-minute chart. And if you take it on the 15 and you full YOLO'd, you get about 2.5, 3R. So I mean, either way, it's a great trade.
David was go back to the 15. Was the 4th candle, the entry.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, you took this inside bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. I think if I took this inside bar right here and then this bar set.
Sorry, actually we took the 4th because it was a hammer.
Yeah, you entered on this candle right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, how many hours was that?
It was about almost 3.
Okay. Well, I messed up. I had an order at 12. Yeah, 12:54. It didn't trigger, and I got stopped out at 12:19. So I gave back a lot of profit.
That's okay. What I like to do, and I mean, obviously you know this, but if I have a stock and I have a target, like, I don't know, maybe your target was the 90 MA. If it is a $0.50, like 50 cents, or a whole dollar, like $1, and my target is 54, I'll move my target to 48.
That's exactly what I did. The 90 MA was at 12:63, and I moved my target at 12:54.
Yeah, see, I would have come even. For me, there's something in my head. I know it's such a psychological thing with these $1.50 that if I'm going to put my stop below the 50-cent level, if I'm anywhere below the 70-cent level for my target, I'll move it below the 50-cent level. I'll give up 20 cents to get my target, because I've just seen it so many times. And you know that these $1.50 are such a market psychological level area, whatever you want to call it, that it's tough to hold through those things sometimes.
Did you go over Uber?
Yeah, I'll go over it in 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's check out Uber. Okay, so Uber, I was not watching it today, so I'm going to mark up some areas on Uber as if.
believe it or not, I managed to lose on Uber today.
Did you?
Yeah.
You guys were long, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so those are my levels on the daily. Like this too. Okay. Uber, you guys traded a 15-minute inside bar, right?
Yeah. It was a 15-minute hammer.
Nice. I see it there. Nice. Okay, so let's look at this. Let me break this down here. Okay, so Uber opens into pre-market high. It tries to break pre-market high, gets rejected. Normal. I think that's fine. We do something that most people wouldn't see here on Uber. If we go to like the, I don't know, 3-minute chart, just to make this easier. So we've sort of got this really light volume consolidation area before this breakout. Now Uber pulls back and we retest this consolidation level, right? So a stock is supposed to naturally break out, retest, breakout, retest, breakout, retest. Like this is a nice trend for a stock, right? When you see these stair-stepping patterns. So Uber is not exactly done for the day, let's say. We sort of wash out at the open. We hold that pre-market level. Try to break these highs again. Now, this might have scared me off a little bit, this rejection at the highs. But the one thing that's nice is Uber holds the higher low, right? Uber holds the higher low. And remember, we talked about the basketball pattern on the short side. 1, 2, 3. Don't short number 2. You can't short number 1 because you don't know what the bounce is yet. Don't short number 2. Always wait for number 3 or higher. Well, that's exactly what Uber did, right? If you look at this, 1, 2, we pulled back, we held the higher low. 3, that's supposed to be where the breakout is. The breakout is supposed to come on test 3 or 4. That doesn't mean buy the breakout high. But if you can find an entry like the 15-minute inside bar, which looks like it was somewhere in here, if you can find an entry in here to anticipate that break on a technical pattern intraday, I think that's a really great trade. I suppose the only thing that I don't love about Uber, the level that it was contesting was this day's high. The one good thing about that is if it gets through this day's high, it can fill this gap very easily. And I'm actually surprised that Uber didn't fill the gap, because when you guys were in the trade, I was looking for targets and I flipped to the daily and I looked at this level for the target here. Prime example, 50.58. My target would be 50.48 on Uber. Okay. Below the $0.50 if I was in this trade.
By the way, take a look at the STX I called earlier.
STX, that was the 15-minute hammer, right? Yeah, okay. 15-minute hammer on STX. Yeah, for me, I'd be taking something here. Probably taking something at yesterday's close. And the last piece, target 250. No, I don't know.
I'll just hold until close, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that too. I like that. What else did I have on watch? Baidu, IQ. IQ is a bit tricky today. I wanted to fade IQ, but I wasn't sure where to fade it off of. I thought that this was maybe too soon to fade it. And then if I start going up to the other pivots, like, I don't know, is this really defined? Probably not. I would like to see it up here or even up here. And I didn't think it was going to do that today. So my only trade on IQ is a potential short if we rejected these levels here. And as you can see right off the open, we got this like SL2 type pattern, morning wash, higher low, and it just broke right through these areas. So as soon as we break through that pre-market high and that daily level, It's just not a short for me anymore. The only way for IQ to be a short, or the most ideal short actually, would have been, even if it set up this pattern at the open, we get this push and we sort of over under these levels, I would short this here and look for the fizzle. Okay, guys, I completely missed all these questions. I was just rambling. I'm watching SCX, but I didn't take it. I'm in QS with 2/3 partial under the 50 mark. Then I'll hold the rest for end of day. Took the 50-minute inside bar long. I'm just gonna take a wild guess here, Hunter. This came up on a scanner. This feels like a scanner play to me. Came up in the SL3, but it looks strong. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, guys, I want you guys to do something. I think scanners destroy new traders, personally. This is my personal opinion, because they're too reliant on the scanner to do the work for them. And Hunter, I'm not calling you out on this one. This is just something I've said forever. I think they tend to destroy new traders because the new trader sees something pop up on the scan and it says SL15 scan, and they just take it because it came on your scan. If something hits your scanner, you need to put aside 60 seconds or 120 seconds, comes up on the scan, go to your daily chart, mark your daily levels. Is this a nice daily chart for me to trade based on what my scanner says? Mark up your pre-market levels on it if there are any pre-market levels. Mark up some intraday pivots. Look at the volume. See what's happening. You really got to analyze the stock. Whereas I think a lot of people are just gripping and ripping whatever their scanners say. And I bet if you guys track the trades that hit your scanners that you took, I bet you guys are all losing money off your scanners. I'm going to say 95% of you guys are losing more money off your scanners than you're making. Scanners for a more seasoned trader who's going to take the time and knows what to look for might be beneficial. Scanners screw me up. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have an idea. It just shows me technical setup intraday that doesn't mean anything. And then you're feeling this sense of emotions, FOMO, fear, whatever it is. Do I take it? Do I not take it? What's going on? Well, it's because you didn't have a plan. That's why you feel that sense of confusion, right? I'd be interested if you guys tracked your scanner trades to see what your returns and your win rates are. I know mine suck. What else are you guys in? Anyone else in any trades here? Oh shit, what did I do here? No, don't do this to me now. What is this, a target? No, it's a stop. Walmart coming all the way back to retest VWAP, retest that daily level there. I've got my stop in the right place, so either it holds under, and maybe I even add on this thing, or no, I don't think I add on this thing. Walmart looks too strong on the 5-minute chart and larger time frames for me to add on, but I definitely just hold my stop and see what's going on here. We don't really have a lot of volume coming in on this push up. We are holding higher lows. What I like to do in these situations, let's go back to the 1 minute here. I like to draw. I like to find some sort of uptrend here on Walmart, whatever halfway makes sense at this time. To see if we can reject here, make lower highs, and then possibly look for an add here. Because this is the current trend on Walmart, right? We've double bottomed, we've reversed trend, and now we're moving up. That doesn't mean it's going to move up the rest of the day. I mean, it could. We don't know. But this was a big area where people were trying to buy. Shorts were loading in. It was low of day. The buyers just couldn't hold this thing up. Shorts took over. So we'll see if there's still some shorts there looking to get short back into VWAP. Yeah, scanners give a lot of FOMO if you didn't take trades for 20 minutes. Yeah, because I mean, you don't take a trade that might mean it's a bad market day, and then your scanner's just like riddling you with all these tickers, and you're like, oh, I gotta take something. No, you don't. You don't have to take anything. T short. I'm in T short below the 50-minute inside bar. There's resistance around 30, so I took it. Also, give me an SL3, SL1 revamp signal. Let's check it out. Okay, T short. Mark this high of day here. Check some bigger time frames. I hate this consolidation on the 5-minute chart. Check the 15. 15-minute 90 MA, that's decent. I'd probably be playing this like high of day area. And what I would have wanted to see on T for a short is some really crazy like volume anomaly. So like on this high of day break, maybe the first time it broke high of day, let's say this candle, I would have liked to see volume something like this. So get this large volume candle on a high day break that shows that all the liquidity in this area was taken. And then you start getting these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. I like to see that volume anomaly. Right now, T is just wedging. And if I was in T, I would have something like this drawn, and I would have something like this drawn. If we break over this wedge and hold high of day, it's a long. If we continue to reject high of day and possibly hold under here, then I think you're okay for the short. But I would definitely be trying to find trend on T. Try and find trend on T. And right now we're just consolidating, right? This is like an equilibrium. This is an agreement. Any consolidation is just an agreement on price, equilibrium, price balance, whatever you want to call it.
BASL1 on the 15 right now.
BASL1 15-minute chart. Okay, so intraday setup, check. Go to the daily here. So let's just say BA hit my scanner. Stelios is my scanner. BASL1 on the 15-minute chart. This is what I'd be doing. If I missed the trade because I couldn't plan the trade or plot the trade fast enough, well, too bad. Okay, so we got in the pre-market. Pre-market high is pretty much where this daily level is. Let's call this pre-market low, which doesn't matter right now. Pull back, okay. Now we look at this thing here. That's Baidu, I don't want that. Okay, so BA pulling back. We're holding a daily level here. We're holding VWAP. We're holding the 90 MA on the 15-minute chart. We're holding pre-market high. Looks pretty decent. Now we can check our risk reward. Well, visually, I can see that we're maybe 2-to-1 to the high here. So if we go like this, we're 2-to-1 to the high. Are we getting proper risk reward on this setup? Yeah, we can risk this low. We've got multiple support areas.
Target should be the gap fill more on the daily.
Yeah, that's this right here. 230, 245. Gap fill, 230, 245. Right?
Yep. Watch the weekly. Switch to the weekly.
What are we, investors now? I'm kidding.
No, I'm swinging. I'm swinging BA. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, nice, nice.
Zoom in. Can you zoom in?
How far do you want me to zoom in?
All right. This is the weekly.
Yeah.
We are still inside, so it might be choppy. So it's not a swing, guys. It's a day trader.
Okay, so you see how Stelios was my scanner. So BA hit the scanner. You see that the legwork we had to do before we could take the trade. So if we had an SL1 15-minute scanner and this showed up, I couldn't take this trade until I went through all of those steps. What does my daily chart look like? Where are my levels? Okay, so I got a breakout here. I got a gap fill here. Here's support resistance. I like to mark a level under price and a level above price. Okay. And then we go mark the pre-market levels, pre-market high or pre-market low. We check everything out. We're holding VWAP. We're holding our breakout level. We're holding pre-market high. We've got a technical setup intraday. So back to what I was saying before, if we think about the LPR level price, P price, or pattern, sorry. And then R is RVR, risk versus reward. So do we have LPR on BA right now? So question, do we have LPR on BA? Yes or no in the chat? Alex, yes. Hunter, yes. Seems like we only have 2 or 3 people left in this chat today. There's 52 people here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes. Good, good. So we have LPR. Can we take this trade? Sure. Right? This is our level, daily breakout level. We've pulled back, we're holding. We also have the 90 EMA on the 15-minute chart. We also have VWAP. We also have pre-market high. If this trade triggers, we can safely take this trade. Do we have a pattern? Yes. We have an SL1 on the 15-minute chart with a very nice hammer. I much prefer these like a hammer rather than just a random bar. Do we have sufficient risk reward? Yeah, well, we checked that, right? I want at least 2 to 1 to my first target or my target. We have 2 to 1. If our stop is below the candle, below the daily level, this is our entry. We have 2 to 1 up to the highs. We can confidently take this trade, and whether it works or it doesn't work, we can sleep tonight. We did our work. We did our due diligence. It hit the scanner. We hit all the check boxes. You can take the trade. Even better on this trade, if BA goes inside on this 15-minute bar, even better, right? Because now we have an inside bar with a hammer holding, and that's our base forming like this. That's our base forming before we break out. Okay, so like look into the future a little bit. Don't try and project the future and be a hero, but look into the future. What could happen? What happens if this sets up a 15-minute inside bar? What am I going to do? Am I going to add? Am I going to have a tighter stop? Am I going to size up more? What am I going to do? Making sense, everyone? Sort of, kind of? Or is it like one of those days like, Dave, just shut up already? Oh, I took another trade that I didn't show you guys, I don't think. I took this trade on M today, and this is sort of a scalp trade for me. So yesterday, M, I don't like this blue. So yesterday, M, it broke out of this pivot, right? So let's say this is like a consolidation range or like a box trading range. We break out of this pivot on some decent volume here. Nice. Now, what do stocks naturally do? If you're looking at an intraday setup, let's say this is pre-market high. Stock breaks pre-market high. What's it supposed to do after it breaks pre-market high? Naturally, what's it supposed to do? No one knows what it's supposed to do. Go up. Okay. Pull back. I like this. We got to go up and a pullback. It's supposed to pull back, right? We're supposed to pull back, retest the breakout level. Old resistance supposed to turn into new support. We're supposed to retest and then continue higher. Remember that drawing I drew earlier? A perfect stock will break out, pull back, breakout, pull back, breakout, pull back. And it will continue to retest these levels, retest. This old resistance became new support. This old resistance became new support. And then when the trend is over, what happens? So let's say we have this. Okay, so this is our uptrend. Damn, my pullbacks aren't. This is our uptrend. Okay, so we're retesting all the pullbacks. Now, what are we expecting this to do? Retest the pullback. And then do what? Make a higher high. Well, it doesn't make a higher high. It makes a lower low. So this was resistance, support. What's it supposed to turn into now? That's the trend reversal, right? You draw your line like this. You're in an uptrend, 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 uptrend. Uh-oh. We can't make a higher high. First indication. We might be reversing trend. We break our trend support. We also break our trend line. First indication we could be making a trend reversal. And then I usually like to get this play up in here. When we retest our old support, becomes resistance, short, and we go down. So if we break pre-market high and we pull back, we're supposed to pull back, hold, and continue higher. So that's what I was looking at on M. If this is our daily breakout on M, we're supposed to break out, pull back, retest, and move higher. Maybe not on the first day, maybe on the second day, third day, fifth day, but that's what it's supposed to do. So I marked that daily breakout level here. And obviously M broke out. We're pulling back. As soon as I see M holding on some very decent green volume here, a buy. This is the technical area that M is supposed to hold. This candle right here, 5-minute candle, the first 5-minute candle of the day. We'll zoom in here a bit. First 5-minute candle of the day, we make a new low and we try and break the level. No bueno, can't do it. Get bought back up right away. We look at it on, why does it keep switching to Baidu? We look at it on the 1-minute chart. Red, 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 red. Try and make, we bounce, we try and make a new low. We can't, we get bought back up right away. Buy. Do we have a level? Yeah. Do we have a pattern? I've got volume into the low break. I've got a hammer candle on the 1-minute chart. I've got a new low that can't break. We're sitting right on top of our level. Do I have sufficient risk reward to the next level? If this is my long, this is my stop, and my target was up here, pre-market low. Yeah, we have sufficient risk reward to the next level. So we can take that trade. Let's see what BA is doing since it hit our scanner. I like this too. I like looking at the 1-minute chart here. Nice higher low on the 1-minute chart. If we see some volume start coming in here, it's even better. We're sitting on VWAP. We've tested that breakout level. Right, BA, same thing as M. We're breaking out. We're trying to retest the breakout level on the daily. See if we can hold and move higher. What does the 15 look like? 15 still looks great. We're potentially going to throw in 2 50-minute hammers here, one of them being an inside bar. I really like that. 5-minute chart looks okay. This chart actually looks the worst out of all the charts we looked at, in my opinion. I don't like this big wick right here, but I think a lot of people are actually short BA, and I think their stops are our entries. So we should get a bit of a pop through those stops.
Also check out HOG, HOG. It's right at our support level from pre-market analysis. 50.66 from yesterday's trading.
Okay, so HOG, I get my daily level marked here. I've got no pre-market to play with. The daily level seems to line up with some of yesterday's price action. That's good. We're sitting right on the daily level right now. We do have some volume coming in. Nothing that's like climactic volume. High volume climactic reversals are like this. Okay, guys, you see this big red candle? High volume climactic reversal right here. What happens? Stock reverses. This big blue candle right here. High volume climactic reversal. What happens? Stock reverses. So we're sitting right on the support area, HOG. 5-minute chart, I don't see anything on it. 15-minute chart. Potential inside bar forming here. I'd probably wait for this bar to close in another 4 minutes, see what that does. And I would feel decent about taking this thing long. 1-minute chart triggered. If you were going to take it long on the 1 minute, it would have triggered probably over this pivot here. And your stop would have been down here. This is a relatively high reward, low risk trade. Yesterday, you have this big day that pops the breakout. We're retesting the breakout level right now, which is this 50.64. Potential on HOG. I don't know if this thing can get back to VWAP, but the potential on it is definitely much more than your risk. If this is your risk and we even just get to this pivot here, we're doing okay.
Alex, to answer your questions, you can trade BA with options. That's what I do. I don't buy shares because they're too expensive.
The risk is $400 and you need to use 112K. No, I risk much less than that percent-wise, actually. I risk 0.25% per trade for that reason. If I risk 0.5% per trade, almost daily I'll run into buying power issues. I risk 0.25% of my account per trade.
Dave, check out STX higher low on the 5.
Yeah, that's nice. What did we see on STX daily continuation? I'm going to have this thing on watch tomorrow for a short. Yeah, STX higher lows on the 5. So if this is the trend here, if this is your trend line, as long as we can close above this line, even if it pulls back, if we can close above this line, it looks okay for sure. 15-minute chart. So we triggered here. I mean, it's moving slow, but it's doing everything it should be doing. 1-minute chart, no high volume at the low.
Also, when you finish, switch to Facebook 5-minute. I want to show something, but finish first with STX.
Yeah, I'm done with that. BA triggered long. Facebook.
Right. Do you see 5-minute? Do you see this double bottom on the 5?
Yeah.
All right. Check out what happened when the outside 5-minute bar formed at 12:05. Yeah, 12:05.
This big one here or this one?
Yeah, the first one. It's an outside bar. It broke the low and the high of the previous bar.
Yeah, like an engulfing candle. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a very strong buying signal. When it happens, at support, at the double bottom, or the triple bottom, and it works both long or short. If you see that on the top of resistance, you can short. If you see that support, you can go long. It's a very powerful signal, candlestick signal. And why is Facebook a buy today? Because we broke yesterday's high, and yesterday was an inside hammer.
Remember I was talking earlier about trends and trend reversals? So I took a shot on Walmart here and add on it. I put this in, I put this in. Stock double bottoms, pushes up, pulls back, pushes up, pulls back. We break below. This is all I expect Walmart to do here. If it doesn't do this, we can stop out. But when I'm looking for an ad, this is what I'm looking for. This is like first indication of a trend reversal. We come back up into our resistance. We start rolling over, start making lower highs, break trend, and then look to get short or add somewhere in here. What else do we got? Yeah, the only issue I have with engulfing bars is your risk, because typically your risk versus reward gets so skewed. If the trend is down like this, and then you have this bar that goes like this, it makes the risk really large. So T, let's look at T. We were talking about T earlier. So if this was our trend here and this was our trend here, this is our consolidation flag. Like I said earlier, T is either going to break outside of this flag, hold high of day or previous high of day and go, or it's just going to break trend and puke. I think it's really important if you guys don't map these, if you don't identify the trend with these sort of diagonal trend lines, I think it's something that you should incorporate into your trading. Because as soon as we start getting to the apex of this flag, this consolidation zone, it's like the stock is a pressure cooker. Imagine this. So this low is 1960. This high is 2960 by 30. So from high to low, there's a 40-cent range, but it's a range that buyers and sellers are agreeing on price. As this range tightens, now it's 29.75 by 29.95. So it's what, a 20-cent range. So the price that buyers and sellers are agreeing on is getting smaller. As that price gets smaller, they can't continue just agreeing on price to the penny. At some point, the range gets so tight, the stock turns into a pressure cooker, and it's either going to break out or break down in a given direction. Use your other technicals like, okay, this is high of day. We're making lower lows off high of, or lower highs off high of day. I wish we had a volume signal. You incorporate all of this stuff and you can find these trades. Could you have a look at Disca? Sure. Oop.
The SSR was on from yesterday. That was actually a good SL10 setup that we didn't take.
Okay, so Disca, this was yesterday's low. Yeah, so SSR's on this thing. I probably wouldn't be shorting this thing. I do have a short here, actually. Actually, SSR is not on Disca. I don't know why or how, but it's not.
It was down 16% yesterday. That's impossible.
Yeah, it's not on. And there's another stock I was looking at, T. Look at T. It's also not on SSR. And this morning it was down like 16%. I don't get it. Anyways, Disca.
For T, I only have 6%. I don't know why you see 5.5 actually.
Yeah, I got 5.5. It should be on SSR either way. Like look at yesterday, down from 34 bucks to, I think that's SSR or close to. It's definitely SSR today. So I don't know what the heck's going on.
Are you sure it's not?
My platform says it's not.
Okay.
So I don't know. Disca. Okay, what do I see on Disca? If Disca is in fact not on SSR, one of the trades I like this trade right here. I never open short pre-market low. I'll never short in here. I'll always wait for the break, retest, look for a candle that shows a reversal, and then short here. So you could have got a nice trade there. And then as Stelio said, if we were on SSR, which maybe we are, and my platform's just broken, there's a nice SL10 play. We reclaim VWAP in this area. It doesn't look great on the 5-minute chart. I wonder how it looks on the 15. Doesn't look great on the 15 either. This would be like your SL10 area. Maybe you could have stopped there and taken a long here. So we remount, we're holding VWAP long. And obviously your risk reward is good. If this is your stop, and even if your target is just pre-market high, I would say if this is your target, it's not great. It's 1-to-1. Assuming you're looking for the break through this level, it's okay. Not my favorite ticker. You know, I noticed 5-digit stocks. They just feel turdy to me. I don't know why. I don't know why. Walmart broke down, popped back up, reclaimed its trend here. So essentially for Walmart, if we get over here, that goes into a little bit of a breakout. If we get below here, which is the 5-minute lows, that's where our breakdown is supposed to happen, below here. Baidu came back into VWAP. I added a bit more at VWAP. The reason why I like to add in these areas is I don't increase my risk because my stop will reduce. And now instead of having a target that's so far away, I can move one of my first targets down to this pivot low. So what I would do on Baidu here is I would do this. So I have a hotkey that drops 3 range orders in, 25%, 50%, and 25%. And then I have my stops up here. I would just drag this order in front of this low. This guy would probably come out into low of day. 187.30s. So we'll say in front of 187.50. And then I'll drop this target in here. I think that's yesterday's high or low. Yeah. And then my hard stop is going to be 193.30s. See, somewhere in here. If we can prove that this is going to go like this, I'll move my stop down here and be break even or better. But for now, I have to leave it here. See what Walmart's doing. Okay, so Walmart's still not convincing that it's going to stay long. We've got a high, we've got our lower high. This is the point where we need to make new lows here. If we make new lows here on Walmart, I'll just bring my stop into this area. Because if we get back up into this area after we make new lows, we've essentially reclaimed the trend again. Guys, I do this all in the 1 minute chart because I like to see volume. I like to see all these volume candles. I am looking at my 5 minute chart here. I do cycle between the 5, 15, 1 minute. Can you share that hotkey? All of my hotkeys are in the masterclass setups room, I believe, in the pinned messages. They added a new feature to DAS. I just can't figure out how to activate it. What it does is sometimes on the level 2, the prices are really hard to see because they're moving so fast. And all you really want to know on the level 2 is where are the big orders, right? So what you can do on DAS now is you can go into the configuration and say, okay, all the orders over 50, which would be 5,000 shares, any order over 50 or 5,000 shares, highlight it green. So now when you look at your level 2, you're just going to see like green, green, wherever those big orders are. So it's going to be much easier for your eyes to see where those high liquidity zones are, which is pretty cool. I just got to figure out how to get it working. Nice. I don't know if I've ever tried it. I'm fine with this. Like I've gotten used to it where I can see the big orders really quickly. Like right here, this 29.50 on T. These are really big orders. This is almost 100,000 shares, 90 some odd thousand shares. So I used to like back when I first started trading, I used to do calculations, right? I used to 29.50 times 90,000 equals, so that's a $2.6 million position sitting down there on the bid, which is pretty cool to know how much money is actually sitting at a single price. It's pretty wild. This thing looks really thick and crowded, to be honest with you, this T. There's thousands and thousands of shares at every single price. So Walmart's wanting higher here. I've got to stop out above this sort of 142.60 area. That'll be the reclaim, new pivot high break. I'm not in BA, no, but we can have a look at it. This is like the lunchtime lulls too, right? It's 1:45. We can't expect any huge momentum. On these trades, they typically take all day to work if you get in a trade at this time. But what BA could do here is from this pullback, it could just consolidate sideways like this until, I don't know, 1:32 o'clock and then choose a direction and get back into high of day. You can't expect open momentum at this time, but it's not doing anything wrong at this point.
STX, if you draw a triangle on the 5, you will see that it's trying to squeeze at the edge of the upper line.
Yeah, so this is the point where the stock usually chooses a direction. Like what I like to see in these situations, if STX is in fact strong, if we draw a line right over the top of this pivot also, you'd like to see it break, so make a new high, higher high, pull back, hold, and then go. And for the short side, same thing. I mean, this thing can go either way, but I'd probably identify maybe like this level here. If my DAS wasn't being such a junk. Yeah, it had this like 202 area identified. And then you look for the breakdown, hold under. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to stop the screen share for 1 sec.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop recording. Once the line comes back, we can continue with questions.
Yeah, I'm going to take off here in a minute anyways.
All right, that's it with trade reviews today. Let us know if you like them. The chat did well today. Most students finished green, so that's good. That's always good. I'm still holding STX and BA. BA is breaking out now from that consolidation. I took both trades on TradeStation, not on Polmex.